What is up, old school RuneScape players? It is your boy Ojama Garrett's back with another episode of Fresh Start. It is your boy Ojama Garrett's back with another episode of Fresh Start. It is your boy Ojama Garrett's back with another episode of Fresh Start. That should have chased most people away. Anyway, so yeah, today's episode of Fresh Start's gonna be, I'm not back to daily content yet. I'm back from the for a weekend visit with my family, and then I'm going to head back to work tomorrow to get working on the barn to finish the teardown. We got like quite a bit done, but there's still a lot of work to be done. But yeah, I came back for the weekend to visit with my family real quick, and I figured I should give you guys a quick video what's been going down. And this has been quite a week, actually. If anybody's been looking at the prices or whatever, I've been chatting with everybody in my Discord, whatever, link down below. If you want live updates while I'm gone about like how to trade this, whatever, how to like get started with multi-scaping, stuff like that. There's a whole community of people asking and answering questions, and we're just all chilling. It's a really good place to hang out. Yeah, so it's just been like a really crazy week, and the timing has actually been kind of crazy too. So let me just like kind of pull up my notepad here. Let me shrink myself real quick, and then pull up my notepad, and then yeah, I know this isn't really gonna be too hot for content. Whatever. I got feedback that I need to condense the content down, and I do agree. I probably need to do that, but I don't know. Maybe YouTube's not meant for me, but that's all right. All right, so like for instance here, what I was saying before, when I was going day to day, we're getting like 23.5 mil here, 710, 711 here. Let me zoom in case you guys can't see that. 711 here, we got 25.5, 712, 27.5. 713, 30 million, 714, 32, 7, etc., 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 etc. And we were making huge gains and doing a lot of good things. But then the day I left, I think you all kind of, I mean, everybody who's been like following the series or whatever, episode 32 or whatever, 33, 34, 30, whatever, because I did some crazy stuff. But anyway, a couple things happened. Let's just look at the fire runes now. It's been going kind of parabolic here. If we look at the chart is flying between 4.5, 4.5, 4 or 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, 4.6, and it has been doing that for at least the entire week. You know, we started with a little bit of dip here, a little bit of dips, but as you know from what I've said before, it shows up a lot in the 1 day, but even if it shows up like this on the 7 days, it's not even showing as much. But for like it seemed for like an entire day here, we had a 5.4. Margin crash, and a lot of that to do with it has to do with the volume, and today is actually some good volume, but like there's been multiple days this week where there's been less than 100 million fire runes, and that is insane. So I think what's been happening, I pull up my example account here, is that if we look at Deadman mode, we have like, I think I counted them, it was 22, but don't quote me, 22 worlds, and there are at least 100, but like throughout the week there was days where the minimum people online in all the worlds was like 300. Okay, so that's like an insane amount of daily players not playing the game. Plus, then also the chatting in the group, in the Discord or whatever, kind of talk about maybe there's a big ban wave that happened, which I do also assume kind of probably happened at the same time. I could see a big ban wave also causing a fluctuation in the supply and demand, because bots are the ones that are usually dictating these types of markets a lot of the time, because they're doing a lot of the dumps. I feel like those big dumps, I believe, happen mostly from bots increasing the supply or whatever. But I mean, like, but that's one thing. Maybe the bots are still dumping. There's a lot of speculation to go on here, so I'm just gonna speculate a little bit more and then I'll move on to the next thing. But like, the bots could be dumping still at the same rate, but if like a quarter of the players are out of the game because they're playing Deadman mode, there's no demand. So then you're gonna have huge, like, wild swings of fluctuations from 5 and 6, and we won't really know if they'll recover until Deadman mode's over. You know what I mean? Who knows? But this could be the start of whatever. I've been saying it for a while, since I started the series about a month ago, is that it is going to, like, the 6.5 is not going to last forever. And that's, if you remember from my earlier episodes, that's why I was trading Pure Essence, because I didn't want to go into it, because I didn't know if it was going to be, I didn't know if this was going to immediately start happening, because the last 6.5 I saw, the 6.5 margin I saw, it was for a couple weeks, and I was riding high and making a lot of money, but then I lost a bunch of money because then the margins crashed back down to 5.4. So I was super hesitant on telling people to buy, but it just seemed to work out this way again, that it's happening now. And now we might finally see, after, you know, it's been about a month. 6.5 has been pretty solid here, but we might fall back down into normal territory. Like, this is more normal. This is over a year, so it's almost whatever. It's just like the average price is 5.4. Like that is a normal cycle, and then these spikes in price are anomalies and whatever. You know what I mean? So it's like that is what happened. And oh yeah, what I was saying about like the timing and how it's like it was kind of funny is that like if I had continued to do my daily content instead of going to do this barn thing, it would have been dead content because let's look at my account here. I'll just log in at 308. Kind of show you what was going on. I finally sold all of my runes, and I had a small amount to buy. I think, like I said, as you can see here, 83K. So that means I bought about 41.5 thousand runes. So I bought those over a couple days, and I'm putting them back in at 6. But I don't know if it might take the whole week to sell at 6 just because of the way that the margins are swinging. And I don't know. Also, dropping to a 5.4 margin means that I have more spending power because all the gold I was getting allows me to get more potential for units because now they're 20% cheaper. So I could buy 20% more runes with my gold or whatever. But yeah, so I mean, like, a lot of things seem to line up. And, you know, I'm going to be gone for the week again. So I might be able to get lucky and catch some 4s. And if it does break back out when Dead Man Mode comes back, or the Dead Man Mode players come back, if it does break back into a 5.6 because the demand is still going to stay high for whatever reason, maybe there's like a huge surge of players or something like that, and just causing the economy. Now it's just everything's inflating up. You know, like on RuneScape 3. Eventually, as people get more money and more players come into the game and more money enters the circulation, the bottom items start moving up in price because just more GP. So you have more GP. That's also another lever. That's another economic factor which causes these price rises over a long period of time on some things, okay? There's a lot of nuance here. Again, that's why, I mean, like, as you can see from me, like, just yapping and, you know, messing out here real quick, there's a lot of different things that, like, happen in an economy which causes, like, price fluctuations, and I try not to just, like, go into the details super crazy because a lot of it is a waste of time. But, yeah, a lot of it is just kind of, like, you know, educated guesses. You can't really know. So, let's see. Let's just do the rune forecast now since I'm on the page real quick, and I was talking about that anyway. We have an interesting event that happened today for Pure Essence as well. Pure Essence 2 has been under 100 mil like all week, and today the demand is actually really high for Pure Essence. The volume isn't catching because we had an event where the low price was 3, which means that there was a huge surge and there was no supply going in. So that is also another indicator that maybe a huge ban wave happened, or whatever. And another reason why I want to talk about ban waves is because a lot of people on my Discord are claiming that they're being false banned while they're making their alts and stuff like that. Though those are all allegations or whatever. I can't confirm what people are saying. But I find them trustworthy when they say false bans happen because I can't do anything about getting them unbanned. So why would they lie to me? But I also do understand that people lie just for the sake of lying. So whatever. Whatever. That's a non... Is that a non sequitur? Is that the word? Non sequitur? A conclusion to say, right. So it doesn't flow with the, yeah, it does not flow logically from what I'm talking about. So I think it is technically a non sequitur, or maybe I'm wrong. Who cares? Anyway, so air runes actually have a pretty decent volume. This is kind of around where they're usually at, but as you can see here, we're still swinging. Like I said before, when one tumbles, when one crashes or one rises, the others tend to follow. But we do have a sort of a normal volume for the air runes, but they are still spiking and dipping in their prices too. So this is just maybe just a bad week for trading elemental runes. Not necessarily, well, bad in essence as in, it's not bad like other items where you're like more at risk of losing money. It just slows the rate of money we're making down. That will be maybe a good segue into my accounts, or my profit for the week, but I'll get there to finish the episode off. This is kind of more important to everybody. So then moving on to water runes. Water runes a little low, a little light on the volume. You know, you see like they're kind of like, and the air runes are a little bit light. I like to see them around 200 million. And these I like to see around 150 million. And these have been kind of fighting for like the same thing past 7 days. This is the, like you could, if you look over like when Dead Man Mode started, it was around, I don't remember what day exactly, so sorry. But I do believe it was like around this time. And as you can see, that is at the peak of Dead Man Mode. Like when Dead Man Mode first comes out, that's when everybody's like super hot and horny for it. So they jump into it and they're like really playing that, and nobody's playing nothing else. But after a few days of getting wrecked by Oda Block and Bodhi and Torvesa and SparkMac, you know, they all, you know, get upset and then come back to the normal game. The bad PKers. Not the bad PKers, but people who aren't like, who don't love dying or love killing and dying. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so you can kind of see that reflecting here. And that's just my speculation, but it kind of tracks with the whole whatever. But anyway, yeah. So water runes are still fighting to bounce around. And then we have earth runes, and earth runes have been kind of just doing the same thing. They've been at 5-4 for a while, and they kind of peaked out a little bit, kind of tried to break out, but I think the dead man mode is just forcing them back into a 5-4. And if we look down here, they're still sorry, I'm just looking at the splits here to see if it's still high price bias, and it does look high price bias. Yeah, like 1 mil here, high price, whatever. These could be like at points that are when it's high price bias, it could be like 1 million at 4, because sometimes the high price comes down, but you know what I mean. It still seems high price bias. So fire runes are still, or earth runes are just kind of still doing the same thing. I mean, we've seen a lot of days where the earth runes, they really haven't been affected as much as the other items. So those are our big picks. Just kind of peeking over here. Let's just look at random items over the past week, see if they had any fluctuations in price. Not really. It's kind of dipped down a little bit, but nothing really happened there that's like too out of the ordinary. I think Essence maybe 7 days. Anything happened to them? No, they're kind of holding where they're holding. If you remember, this looks like a really nice item to go into. It looks really stable. Looks like it's done moving around for a while. And as you know, if when you're investing, if you're at an all-time low, that's usually a good time to get into an item just in general. So we're approaching that. So as this approaches 6.6, this is a really good item just to buy for long-term or short-term flipping, whatever you're doing. Mine runes seem like really low volume. Yeah, I'm not really too knowledgeable on a lot of other things. Let's see feathers real quick. Does it still look quite the same? Yeah, it still looks like feathers is still holding at 3 mostly. 2, you know what I mean? Even with the way that the elemental runes are, feathers are now competitive with them based on like the rate of return and stuff like that. Just from what people have been telling me and stuff. But yeah. So now, let's go over the list real quick. Sorry about this. Saw multiple days with 100 million volume. Deadman mode seems to be my best guess. Fire runes seem poopy. I've been back for a couple days, and then let's just go over the accounts real quick. And we'll just talk about profit and the money made and stuff like that, and then I'll sign off and see you guys soon, hopefully, with better content, hopefully. Or, I mean, I have some ideas. Oh, wait, I almost forgot. I have one idea. I have a fun little thing. Somebody told me to comment about one of my other videos, so I'm kind of excited to get to that real quick. Glad I didn't forget that. Yeah. Anyway, so 7/28/24. When I logged on today, it was exactly 7 days and 0 hours. It was like the second batch was like I want to say 7/0/23, and then the first batch was 6 days, 23 hours, and 56 minutes or something like that. It was like super, like almost on the wire, like crazy, like perfect efficiency of like the perfect time to log in and stuff like that. But when I did, most of, like I said, my example account, most of them did sell all of their runes, and they were like about 200K, like whatever, you know what I mean, like 800. So they're like 1.5 to 2.5 mil per account, and all of them did pretty much sell all the way, except for maybe a couple accounts with like 5% of their volume not selling. But that's not a big deal. I'm not expecting too many sales here either. I'm just putting them in like this because this is the safest way to trade in this season. It's the safest way, but it may not be the most profitable way. The most profitable way, you'll get a lot of 5s. If you buy at 5, you'll get them. You just may have to be patient, and you may come up unlucky trying to sell them. You may have to sell them back in at 5. So it's just, those are the two main strategies. Stay at 5, 6, insta buy at 5. You'll have to hold longer to sell for 6, or try to catch them at 4. Guarantee the profit. Maybe you get 2 per unit, increasing your ROI, but decreasing the amount of volume you're getting in sales. You know what I mean? It's just, those are the two main strategies. So, like, maybe I should draw them out. No. I thought, hopefully you guys understand. If you don't understand, hop in the Discord, talk about it. I'll explain further, but I think that makes sense. Or I think that's communicated in a way that makes sense for you guys. Okay, so I went from 57.231 mil to 59.457 mil. And that was 2 mil profit. And that's only 318K profit per day. Kind of lame. But I did only log in twice in a week. Okay, so out of the two things, out of the two logins and two resets, what is it, 20 seconds to count, I was saying? Let's just say 30 seconds. 30 seconds is very safe. So 30 seconds times 40. So, 40 accounts divided by 60. So it's 20 minutes twice. So 40 minutes. No shit. Now that I did the math, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, because, 40 accounts, 30 seconds twice. 40 minutes. Anyway, so for 40 minutes, I made 2.226 mil. So if we divide that by 60, 60 divided by, 60 divided by 40 gives us our multiplier to pump into our profit. So 226. So even though it was really bad, it was still 3.339 mil per hour effective profit. Okay, so not great, but not horrible. Okay, you know what I mean? Just like in how AFK it was. Logging in twice. Okay. Hopefully everybody understands that. I'm trying to communicate myself better about the math and why it's still, even on bad days, it's not that bad. Because if the market was good and I had enough money in the accounts and I was making the daily trade profits that I was making on the other things, you know what I mean? You're only that it would be this an effective profit times 7, you could say. No, times 6 divided by 7. Because this is one day. So you take it times 6 if we made those types of trades every day. So it'd be 20 mil an hour in effective hourly GP per hour. I think that's where me and that other guy got that argument about. That's where I think the miscommunication was. Is that this is a passive recurring method. It's not an active moneymaker like raids. So an active moneymaker like raids is kind of better because when you get on and get into it, you get that back. Whatever. They're two different things. So yeah. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying there. Anyway, I'm trying to not ramble on about random stuff. I'm trying to move the flow along. Sorry. So as if you can read this, let me just look real quick. Yeah, I think you can read that. It says that we got 318K profit per day, or 7,950 per account per day. That brings me up to an extra 300K in the donation, so we're at 6.5 mil. So why did this happen? The main reason why it happened, if we look at the example account, is that I only had enough money to buy about 40,000 per slot. So after the first day of buying, I probably insta-bought across all the accounts to get that because of the swing between 4 and 5, 4 and 6, sorry. So then that just creates a lot of sales happening at 5. Because if everybody, if the margins drop to 4 or 5 and everybody's selling back in, say the traders who are just doing this throughout the day, or the bots and stuff like that, they're going to be if the margins are at 4 or 5, that means they're going to be selling to me until those are filled up. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, so I probably made sales for 1 or 2 days, but now my net worth didn't grow at all because I was just inefficiently didn't buy fire runes on all of my accounts for probably 5 days, 5 to 6 days. So that really limited my growth. That's what happened. Now this week, like I said before, I'm doing 4 and 6 because I don't expect a lot of sales, but the ones I get will be pretty good. And if the margin does crash while I'm gone for another week, 2, 5, 4, I'll be able to just go right back in at 5 for whatever I bought it at. And then I'll be ready to transition into the new margin. So that's kind of where I'm going at here. Now, that is it here. I think I talked about that enough. Covered all the things I wanted to. Okay, so we're at 18, 19 minutes. So now the fresh start is kind of over. Well, not over, but I want to do my thing now. So for that, I need to bring up 4 example accounts. And it was from a comment I got on one of my old high-elking accounts. And it was a optimization, hopefully, to increase our click rate for high-elking on multiple accounts. As I've talked about that in another video. So high-elking is very strong for AFK, but this is a non-AFK, free-to-play, pumped-up method to increase your hourly profit on one of the best moneymakers in free-to-play. The best thing to scale up for free-to-play would be smithing, the smithing moneymaker for 99 or whatever. But if you can, if you got 4 accounts with smithing at 99, I would do that. If you're free to play, but that sounds like an outrageous amount of effort for you just not to be a member. But anyway, just in the context of free to play, I know this is a very, very small group of players that this affects. But in this scenario, there's a lot more players who are high elking. And if you want to, like, if you're high elking to try to get to a bond on your computer and you don't have, for some reason, don't have the money to get a membership to main up your bond, or maybe these are all sort of, maybe whatever. I'm trying to do this for free to play people who don't have access to membership. This is kind of for you. So essentially, I did this in another video, and this is high elking. But what I high elked, as you can see here, I have messed up inventories here. I would high elk, and then I did like the configure to shrink my accounts and stuff like that. But then some commenter, bless his soul, man, like he freaking turned this up. He told me that, and I overlooked this. I didn't realize it because I had been doing the same thing for my settings segment for all my account creations. Is that there's a resizable mode, and you could hold alt and move the inventories all around and stuff. So I'm just like, oh my god, I think this means that we can put the buttons closer together and increase the frequency of our clicking to make them overpowered. Not overpowered, but better. Just better. If I could slide that up a little bit more and make these more of the same. But whatever. This is going to be live. If it's wrong, you guys will see it. I just want to kind of be authentic and kind of show you guys. So we have 10 casts on each account. And we're just going to time it and then do the math. 1,200 is for one account. We're going to see if we can try to beat that. And this is kind of high risk for me. I'm kind of nervous a little bit because this is first take. As you guys can tell from a lot of my stuff, it's a lot of first takes. But so we're just going to run it up. So I'll just start the clock and get going. 3, 2, 1. Oh, sorry. Let me explain the setup. So what I did here is I alted. You hold alt, and you can move the UI around. So then I just this one right here, in case anybody's interested in doing this, I click the filters to take off combat and teleport so that it moves it over here. And then the button to click under the spot for what you're clicking on to click towards the inventory and guarantee to click is the middle coin. That's what I'm going to go for. And I did that for the right accounts. And then the left accounts, I just turned off the combat spells to move them a little bit closer together on the right side here. Maybe there's a better layout. Just play around with it, whatever. And then how I did this, another thing I did is I if you go to your RuneLite plugins and you hit the RuneLite client settings here, the edit plugin configurations, and you put this one always on top and this one always on top, then when you go to click over here on these accounts, they will not overlap, allowing us to hopefully keep the buttons closer together so that we can shorter travel distance increases speed and less work to, you know what I mean, keeps it all clustered and focused together. Hopefully that increases our click accuracy and frequency a little bit. We should be able to get 2 clicks per account. So I haven't done this in forever since that last video, so I may mess up, but I'm just gonna, again, here we go. Not enough stalling. Let's just run it up. 3, 2, 1. And that's time, 54 seconds, I believe. Let me just check, make sure I cast on everybody. And that is everybody. All right, cool. So 54, 51, we'll just say 55 just for the math. Let me close all this out so you guys aren't like overwhelmed now. All right, clock. And then calculator. So what we're casting on doesn't really matter. What matters is how many casts we get. So on one account, max you can usually get is 1,200. I guess that's what I saw online. So if we have 55 seconds in an hour to get 40 casts, so just remember that. I just gotta write that down so I remember. 40 casts. That's our units, total units, and we're going to get our multiplier by plugging in how much time it took us and how many times in an hour, and then that will give us our multiplier, our hourly multiplier, to plug into our total number of casts, and that will tell us our total casts per hour. Okay, so then if we take 3,600 seconds in an hour, because 60 times 60, just in case nobody saw me do this before, so then we'll divide that out by 55 seconds, and then I'll give us 65.45 repeated. So then this is our multiplier, our hourly multiplier, to multiply into our 40 casts, giving us 2,618 casts. So if we divide that by 1,200, we have the efficiency of 2.1. So it seems the best way to do this is on 3 accounts probably, or maybe set it up in a better way. So 3 accounts would be the best way to get, or not the best way. Every account after 2, it seems you'll only get 9% more per hour. Okay? So the advantage of still doing it on 4, even though you're only getting a 9%, it's only getting a 9% gain, is that it's still higher. Okay? So like 9% is still higher, whatever. It's all just depends on what you want to do, okay? So I mean, like, it's all trade-offs. To a lot of people, 9% is not worth your time, so that's why I just immediately recommended 3. I think 3 is going to be great. I think 3 will get you like 2.10, or maybe even just like better. Maybe it'll even be a little bit more efficient, because it'll be easier, so you'll have less misclicks. So then with less misclicks, you'd have a higher percentage. Like, you'd get a little bit faster than me, because I don't know if you guys saw, I misclicked a couple times and had to do a reset. But anyway, the thing that's happening, why isn't it like 3x? Or like, why isn't it 3? Oh, sorry. This represents percentages, and you take that times 100 to get the percentage. Sorry about that. So it's 218% efficient over 1 account. So it's 2.18 times better. Sorry, just thinking real quick. And why does this happen? It's a concept called diminishing returns, and there's a curve of like the more labor you put into a system. Wait, no, it goes this way. The more labor you go into a system, as you initially put effort into something, you'll get exponential returns. Like if you ever lifted weights, maybe you heard the term newbie gains. But then as you apply more effort to that system, it gives you less return on investment. But yeah. Now, the other thing I want to say is that maybe doing it on 4 isn't worth your time, but maybe it is, because it would require less setup to cast on 4 accounts. Setup for high alking doesn't seem like it's a lot, so maybe it's not that much. But if you had 6 accounts with 60,000 units to high alk, this sounds kind of unfeasible, but I'm just throwing random numbers out there. You'd be able to get through 360,000 casts without having to reset up. Hypothetically. Okay, this is still all hypothetical. Again, this is live on a first take, and this is just my first reactions to that. But that's all I got for you. I thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to try it out. I wanted to try it out live for you guys first. It didn't seem like it added too much efficiency compared to my my run on my first video and my second video, but this was just a very interesting way to just set up everything and then get it going. I don't know. I just thought it would be kind of cool to try out for you guys. So that being said, hopefully I can get back to daily content or something like that, or whatever. Hopefully get this barn done so I can get back to, just making content and just doing better and actually being able to apply feedback people give me. But thank you everybody who's been watching everything. I hope you guys enjoyed. I really appreciate each and every one of you. And I'm really happy to be able to just make content, and that's kind of the goal. Like, I was upset about views, I was upset about comments, I was upset about bad feedback, but after reflecting this last week, the only thing I really am focused on is I had a goal to hit a certain number of videos, kind of like I had a goal to hit a certain number of accounts, regardless if it was like worth my time or not worth my time, like the major criticism I get for doing this. The reward for me is getting the objective done, and kind of I wanted to go for like 1,000 videos and just try to do one thing better every video. That's kind of what I'm doing, and I'm going to try to just focus on doing that. But thanks everybody who's been coming along for the ride. I am trying to get better. But yeah, so that being said, I'll catch you guys later, and I will see you hopefully really, really soon. And one more time, Link to the Discord down below. If you're this far in the video, subscribe. See you later.